Hi, it's Kamon Reynolds. Let's talk about a few different things. I want to talk about our new lids. I want to talk about feeder rims and also this little TDN down here, which is 2 colonies in a normal deep box. It's just a temporary double nucleus is just what we call them, but that's a mouthful, so we call them TDNs. A whole lot faster to say. So in our videos, you've probably seen us use feeder rims if you've been following us for a while. This one right here has a little vent hole on it. This is really handy when the temps are 90, 100 degrees, humidity's high, and it gives your bees some head space to get off of that brood. Also helps to vent the colony if you have this little vent up here. Now, the main reason we have these is for pollen patty feeding. Small hive beetles are a big problem down here. If we have a really strong double, we just throw them in between the 2 deep boxes. But if they're a young colony, we're going to want to give them a patty, and these feeder rims are going to just go right on top, and you can throw that patty down in there. They can consume it from below and above, and they can guard it better from the small hive beetles like that, because they pretty much can get around the patty and just help keep the small hive beetles away from it. Now, I really recommend you glue these corners. You can make joints, but I don't have time for that. Just a bunch of scrap wood if you got a buddy who's got a lot of scrap wood lying around, or if you have some of your own. Just make sure you glue them. They're so much stronger if you glue them. So that's pretty nice right there. You know what? Let's check these things out real quick. Look at those small hive beetles. Not a whole lot in this box over here, but this one's looking really good. Not bad. All right. Now, what about the lid? This right here is what we're fixing to do to all of our lids. All the new ones are going to get it, and all of the old lids, we're trying to get them off the hive as we get some of these made, and then we're going to exchange them out. And this is just a half-inch shim going around, and when you take that into account with the space between the top of the box and the frames, it's going to give you a little over a half-inch of headspace above the tops of the frames, and you're going to be able to put your patties up there. This is going to be really handy for us because, one, that's just an extra piece of equipment we got to haul out to the bee yard. If the lid already has it, then that's one less thing to worry about. And I'm sure one of the issues with this is we're violating bee space, which is going to create a little bit of burr comb on top of the frames, and it's going to cause a little bit up in here. So that's something that we'll have to deal with. However, I think it's worth it to be able to feed pollen patties whenever we need to, quicker and better, and without having to have that extra piece of equipment. That's 1.5 inch tall, which is a little much. You can also use this with certain treatments, you know, like a little bit of thiamol or something like that. It's better if you have a little more headspace, but it works just fine. But anyways, I use pressure treated because I had a scrap piece of pressure treated. No matter what you use, make sure you seal it really good. We're going to be dipping those feeder rims, the one that we're going to be keeping around. This lid's going to be dipped. You can see how we scraped it all up. We didn't coat the bottoms of these lids a few years ago, and now we're doing the bottoms and the tops and the sides, and it makes a very big difference. We're moving away from Advantech, by the way. It works, but it wants to chip up in little pieces, and whenever that happens, you lose the integrity of your sealing job, whether that comes from wax dipping or whether that comes from painting or whatever it is. The CDX, I think, is better. You can make 10 of these lids for about $25 here. Now, of course, you got to count screws and other things that are involved in that, wax or paint. So these lids, I think I'm going to like them. A lot of professionals and commercial guys are using them, and it's just going to be one less thing to worry about. Now, some people are like, well, you're violating bee space. You know, that's not a good idea. Well, trees always violate bee space, I'm sure. Of course, the bees create things to help them deal with that, but bees are very versatile. Really, the design of the hive and several other things doesn't really matter as much as making sure the bees have a good queen, making sure they have dead mites, and that they're well nourished. That's what we say around here. Great queens, dead mites, good nutrition. It's what it always comes back to. If you have any comments or questions on our lids, on our TDNs, Feeder rims, I'm going to leave a video below on using our feeder rims, because if you just got a few hives, having an extra piece of equipment is not that big of a deal. And they're very, very cheap. Thanks for watching our videos.